All right, so today we are talking all about avionics. These avionics are what is going to get you through a flight. It gives you all of the information necessary that you're going to need from start to finish, from the time that you start up your engine to the time that you get in the air, follow your flight plan, and get back home. It's going to give you all the information you need to successfully complete that flight. Now, the screen that you're looking at right now is the Dynon Avionics Skyview Touch. It's one of the most popular among the sports cruiser family of aircraft, which is one of the most common when it comes to training. Now, you'll notice a lot of things going on this screen, and we're going to talk a lot about them. Now, the primary flight display, same image here that you're seeing, this is what's going to be on the left-hand side of the aircraft in front of the pilot. Now, in a lot of different types of aircraft, you will have a second display on the side of the co-pilot or on the passenger side, and this is called the multifunction display. However, with the Dynon Avionics Skyview Touch, both of the displays will actually function the same way. So you're not going to notice a difference. However, you can pull up different information. One thing that you're not seeing on here is your engine page, which can be pulled up by selecting this tools, the PFD tools, and then selecting engine. It'll show that to you right on the bottom, or you can set it up to be on the side. You'll notice quite a few things here. I'll just point a few of them out to you. So we're looking up here, and we're going to have, this is going to be our autopilot right here. So this tells us a lot about the settings that we have set for an autopilot. Now, when setting that autopilot, you're going to set a lot of bugs, and the bugs, let's see, there's actually one right here. This is the heading bug. So if the heading bug, for instance, was set on the autopilot as follow that heading bug, the aircraft would actually turn to the left until it got there. Another bug that you can get is you can set your altitude bug. You can also set your vertical speed bug, which is not displayed here at the moment, but you can display that. You can also display your airspeed bug. So here we are with our true airspeed and our ground speed. If we had that bug showing, it would show just right here. Another cool thing up here is going to be your transponder XP. We all know that whenever you're using your transponder, 1200 is what we use for VFR flight rules, and then we have our 75, 76, and 77. Of course, 7500 for hijacking, 7600 for a radio failure, and 7700 for a catastrophe or an emergency in flight. Just right here we've got our clock. Now keep in mind that that's generally going to be set to UTC time, or your Greenwich Mean Time, so that's your Zulu time. Another cool thing that we have on this screen, of course this also displays on your radios. However, one-stop shop, you can look right here. Now the cool thing about this, it's not just going to tell you where you're at. This is right here telling you that you're at Salt Lake City Tower 1. This right here is your ATIS for Salt Lake City, so that's where you're going to get all of your different weather information automated along the way. All right, we're going to go down here. We're going to start a little bit just down over here. Now you notice you have all of these different buttons. Now these are going to change constantly. These are for your soft keys. Now one really cool thing about this is that you can actually touch the screen, and the screen is going to then decide by what you touched what these two different knobs are going to be for. So, for instance, right now this one's set on the course, which we'll go over in just a little bit. This one is set on the indicated airspeed. Now again, you get those by touching something. So let's say you wanted to set your heading bug or your course bug, you would just simply touch right there, anywhere within there, and it's going to make this highlight course. If you were to touch this somewhere over here around your, let's say your altimeter, it is going to then change to ALT, and you'll be able to set your bug for your altimeter. Very simple there. These are some very easy things to learn. Next thing that we're going to do, we're going to learn a little bit about all of the instruments here. So let's have a quick look at the first one. And that is going to be that we are going to, give me just a second here. Alrighty, so we're going to go ahead. Alrighty, there we go. We're going to look at our airspeed indicator there. Now, our airspeed indicator displays airspeed in our knots of indicated airspeed, or KIAS. Now, you'll notice that on this, it does have markings on it, green, red, and yellow markings. These markings all symbolize different things, and we'll run over a couple of those right now. So, your VFE, which is your flaps extended speed, that's going to be anywhere along this white arc right here. As long as you stay in that white arc, that is going to be your maximum flap extended speed, just right over here. It also has your NO, or your normal operating, or your structural cruising speed, which is going to be right here at the top of the green. And then you have your never exceed speed, which of course is that red radial line. You never want to cross over that one. It is required for VFR and IFR flights, so we do have to make sure that that is in good working order. Of course, we have our FAR, our Federal Aviation Regulations, that require the types of checks that those are required to have. Next up, we'll talk about our heading indicator. Our heading indicator is going to be located just down over here. And then this little indicator here tells us which way that we are headed whenever it comes to the compass actually moving around. So that's going to be your heading. This right here is going to be the direction that you're actually going. Let me clear these annotations so we can see that a little better. Again, right here, this is the heading that you're actually going. Now, this little purple line, this is something that you're not going to get if you have analog instruments. These come with the digital instruments. This would be a totally separate instrument for that. This is the course that we have set from our Skyview navigation. Now you notice right here that it does state that we have the Skyview turned on. We are 3.6 miles from our waypoint of 3W5. We're right now have our heading bug set to 199, but we need to go on 307 as our course. So if we turn directly to 307 head that way, we should get directly to our destination. Not bad. Not bad at all. Next thing we're going to talk about here. Oops, we just went through the airspeed indicator, didn't we? Let's see here. All right. Next thing we're going to talk about, it's going to be our turn coordinator and our inclinometer. Now this is going to display our bank movement. So anytime the aircraft is going to turn, those little wings of that airplane are going to show you the direction of the turn. That does have to be functioning. It is a required piece of instrument for the VFR and IFR flights. It does display bank movement. It also is going to show the slips and the skids. Now here's how to tell those slips and skids. So a slip is always going to go inside of the turn. So let's say that the aircraft was here and it was turning to the left. If that ball came over here, then that would be a slip. If it went to the outside of the turn, it would be a skid. Both of those things are dangerous. You do need to keep it coordinated as much as possible. One cool thing to remember about this is that each of those tick marks are going to mark a standard rate turn. So when those wings touch either of these tick marks here, that is going to be a standard rate turn, which is 3 degrees per second of heading change. So for instance, if your wing is exactly right here on this mark to the left, in every second you will be changing 3 degrees, okay? 3 degrees per second. So that would be a 2-minute turn. All right. Next two things that we are going to talk about right here, the altimeter, which is going to show your altitude indicated. Now that is your indicated altitude. Of course, you do have to have your barometric pressure set properly. Now the way that you're going to know where that's set is right here. This is going to be your altimeter window, and you do need to set that to the appropriate pressure that you get from the ATIS of the nearest airport with a weather reporting station. Now, if you don't have one near or within 100 miles of your takeoff zone and you're staying close by, you're going to set that to the field elevation. Whenever you're turning that knob, which again will become one of these knobs down here, you're going to set it to where this reads the field elevation. Now, these again are different, digital and analog. If this was an analog, oh, I lost my train of thought there, an analog altimeter, then you would have 3 hands here, almost like a second, a minute, and an hour hand, and they would indicate that. Now your vertical speed indicator shows the rates of climbs and descents, is only accurate when you're at a constant climb or descent for more than a few seconds. If you just quickly go up and down, it's going to move. When turbulence hits you, that's going to show a movement of up and down because it's utilizing the change in the static pressure as you move up and down. And it's not going to be accurate unless you're in a constant climb or descent for more than a few seconds. It does take a couple of seconds. However, for the most part, if you are using it to climb at a constant speed of 500 feet per minute, that is going to work properly for you. Now, we've gone over everything here. It's quiz time. The quiz does need to be completed by Thanksgiving at 7 p.m. There is a link just right here. You can click that link and that will bring you right on over. So again, all about our avionics today. Again, we've got our airspeed indicator, our heading indicator, we've got our attitude indicator, which is going to show your turns, and it's going to show your pitch. You've got your altimeter, your vertical speed indicator, and of course this is a very fun piece of avionics to work with. It does everything for you. It's perfect for visual flight rules. It is not in this specific airplane going to be IFR rated yet. However, if you have any other questions, please feel free to get in touch with me. And thanks so much for watching.